open a couple months ago. I was asked to be the editor for the Cherry Picker's Guide. He goes, either way, I'll sell the coin to you for what the bid's at. It was $800. In the bottom of the box was this little box of coins that he didn't know was there. Got back to my shop, checked out the coin. It was authentic. Went down to an Albany show I did the week later and sold the coin to another dealer for $4,500. So this is a first year half dollar for the U.S. This is the first year that they made half dollars in the U.S. of 1794. And I have a little affinity for deep Near-Prooflike Morgan dollars.
Before this video starts, I just want to say thanks so much for all of the support on the last handful of videos. It's been absolutely incredible, and I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it. This is a great interview from Noel, who is a varieties expert. He knows a lot. He knows a lot of stuff. It's kind of ridiculous. So you're definitely going to enjoy this, but before we get into it, I know it's kind of cliche, but 90% of the people who watched my last handful of videos were not subscribed. So if you are enjoying this content and you want to see more of it, make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and comment what topics you want me to cover next. All right, that's my little thing. That's all I have to say. Please enjoy the interview.
You're rolling. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what we're doing here.
Okay. I'm Noel White with Affordable Coins and Currency. We're here at the Central States Numismatic show.
And we got coins.
And we have plenty of coins and currency throughout the place, without question. So, yeah.
So when did you get started in the coin collecting industry?
So business-wise, it was actually 20 years ago this year.
Okay.
So I've been collecting for almost 30 years, but 20 years ago, so about 2005 is when I actually bought my first shop and got into business doing it. So when I was 11 years old, I was helping my uncle refurbish houses near where I lived, and my grandfather, who passed away before then, owned an antique shop. My uncle took it over. At the end of the day, I would stroll through the antique shop for what I want for pay, and I was picking coins that he had for pay for the day. So that's what got me started into it.
Do you remember what the first coin was?
I don't. So I had gotten some. First things I picked out were incomplete sets of Lincolns and Jeffersons, things like that.
When did you realize that this was going to be your career?
When in 2005, after doing business with a coin dealer, he offered to sell the business to me.
How did that whole thing go down?
I was a customer of his for 2 years prior, and he had been mentioning it and this and that, and I told him I'd probably be interested in if he wants to sell it, and he ultimately said he wanted to, and so ultimately in 2005 I bought it. And
what was that first couple months like as a brand new coin dealer?
Well, I'd got some of the inventory from him. It came with everything that he had, and it was definitely fun because a lot of people were realizing what I pay compared to what he paid, and now it's a lot better, so they very much appreciated that. So, but obviously it was, for the first probably 5 years, it was a learning curve in the business because I hadn't been, I was a collector. I understood what the business was, but learning, again, picking up how to learn how to grade coins, to accurately grade coins and be able to price them accordingly. It's not something you just know. You have to learn that.
Yeah. What's your coolest deal that you've done that you'd like to brag about?
Probably the 1893 S Morgan that somebody had up on eBay. It was in the same town I was in. He was getting messages saying, oh, it's counterfeit, it's real, it's counterfeit, it's real. I messaged him, said, hey, can we meet? I'll take a look at it. So we met, looked at the coin, and he goes, well, I'll tell you what. He goes, either way, I'll sell the coin to you for what the bid's at. It was $800. And he goes, I'll give you the other coins that were in the box also. He found them in the bottom of a box lot he bought at auction. So he paid like $10 for the whole box. So in the bottom of the box was this little box of coins that he didn't know was there, and he didn't care about coins, he just wanted the stuff in the box. There was a cat bust half in there, a $5 gold piece, and a $2.50 gold piece. He gave me the whole box for $800, which the bid was at the time. I got back to my shop, checked out the coin. It was authentic. Went down to an Albany show I did the week later and sold the coin to another dealer for $4,500.
That is a very cool. I like that stuff. Is there anything you collect outside of coins?
So I'm into model railroading, model trains. So I have a HO scale layout that I collect that stuff. And
how does that develop? You just like trains and trains?
As a kid, I had a friend at my church that had a nice layout, and I kind of appreciated it, seeing it, and I enjoy working with my hands, obviously, but in smaller things too. So when I was around 14 or so, I broke my bone right here. So my arm was in a cast for over 9 months. So I got into buying balsam wood and building buildings from model railroad. And yeah, so for that, obviously having a family that was in the antique business too, it's just unfortunately snowballed with me too, so.
If someone gave you $100,000 to build a collection from scratch, what would your first 3 coins be?
That's a funny question because probably my first 3 coins would be the first 3 ones that I found that were undergraded.
What? Explain that to me. Why?
Well, obviously if they're undergraded, they're worth more than what people are asking for them.
Okay. Sure.
So you have an automatic return.
Right, so you'd specifically go look for some undergraded coins.
Yep.
And buy them and then have them reslabbed.
Yep.
Okay, do you know which coins those would be? Like which ones?
Well,
it's less about turning a profit and more about building a collection.
right.
It's like a dream
So,
collection.
right. So, like an example, last week at a show, I bought an 1899 Morgan, which is a better date.
Yeah.
That was in a NGC Fatty, graded 63.
Okay.
It's a 66 plus coin. So, would I want that for my collection? Yeah, it's an old Fatty holder. It's grossly undergraded, and it's a 99 Morgan.
Fair enough.
So, those are the kind of things I would look for. I mean, not too many 93S's are undergraded, so I would probably find coins that were either undergraded like that and older holders, or older holders for dimples and certain dimples and things like that, or tougher dates.
Weirdly more specific, but also less specific answer that I got from the other people.
What's tough is because trying to take the dealer out of you to do that. So like, as if it's just like a personal collection,
Yeah.
it still would be. I would probably go after any key dates that are undergraded, as a collector.
That's just something you like.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I know how to grade, so that's to other people's disadvantage because I know how to grade.
Yeah. And it's like a little win for you too.
Yep.
You find that thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Got it.
And trust me, there's plenty of other dealers that know how to grade too that do the same thing.
You love showing people coins,
Absolutely.
and I think this is a great opportunity to pull out like 3 of your favorites that you have in your booth.
Here we have a 1794 half dollar. It's an Overton 101A. That's a number they gave for the different die varieties and die variations for them.
Beautiful. Can you explain to somebody who doesn't know why this coin is so significant?
So this is a first year half dollar for the U.S. This is the first year that they made half dollars in the U.S. of 1794. So, yep. And what's cool about these is, I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up on the camera, but it has a lettered edge.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, cool. So it says, it says 50 cents, and it says, it says half dollar on it in the United States. They did it very nicely. This coin's an XF40, and it's a pretty nice condition for a coin that's 231 years old.
Yeah. So in that case, when they're minting it, is it like the collar itself has the edge lettering infused into it? Mm-hmm. Or I guess it wouldn't be infused in that case.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So just pretty nice coin to say the least.
Gorgeous. So what do you grade this as?
This grade's an XF40.
Okay. And PCGS brought it back as clean.
Yep. And this is about original as you can get.
Yeah, if it was clean, it would be shiny.
Right. Well, even no offense, even if it had a light rub or whatever from being 231 years old, there's accountants for that because it's 231 years old.
Right.
Yeah. You just don't get anything that much original. Actually, a dealer last week in New Hampshire actually had it. I just had to get it because it's a first year half dollar. You just don't see these very often.
Right.
There was 23,464 of them minted.
That's insane.
Yep. The next one is a pretty tough date. It's an 1891S Morgan, but it's in deep Near-Prooflike. Can you see it?
Move that around a little bit.
Yeah. So
Beautiful.
you can get those mirrors. So how this happens on certain Morgan dollars is when they change the dies over and put brand new dies, they highly polish them. When they strike, it has that high mirrored finish. That mirror finish only lasts on about 6 to 8 coins before it dulls it down to a PL, which lasts for about 100 to 150 coins, and then that polish wears completely off to where you just have the business strikes of what you see and normally deal with every day. But that's why deep mirror proof likes have a much higher premium for them because of that scarcity. And I have a little affinity for deep mirror proof like Morgan dollars.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. Yeah, cool. Is there anything else you want to mention or plug before we wrap things up? You want to talk about the cherry pickers?
Yep, if you want. Pretty cool thing happened a couple months ago. I was asked to be the editor for the Cherry Pickers Guide, and I met with the president and vice president of Whitman here at this show to talk about the future of it, and it looks like we're going to be able to get to a point of being able to produce an annual book. So it's not going to take 10 years for the next one. So I'm very honored to be able to help out with that, and look forward to being able to help the industry in keeping the younger generations involved.
Yeah, and I think if there was anybody qualified to edit the Cherry Pickers Guide, it would be you.
I appreciate that very much, my friend. Thank you. Yep, been an absolute pleasure, and I've had a pretty good show here. And
TikTok, go follow Cryptocurrency. Does
Yep,
great live streams.
Yeah, appreciate
Live
that.
streams with me sometimes. So
Yep.
check it out.